You know, recently I was talking to a friend of mine and I wanted to share this with you because we're friends, you know, this is what I love about this channel. It's about finding out things that you have locally, isn't it, you know? And you go, when you travel around, particularly in this wonderful country of ours, and you find local delicacies, and we all know them. You know, the sort of things I mean, like those beautiful traditional Cornish pasties. And they are, you know, oh, I might get shot for saying this, but they are wonderful. You know, they do taste absolutely delicious. There's something, whatever they make them down there with, they just are rather unique. Now, I'm a little bit biased, I've got to be honest and say that I believe Yorkshire fish and chips are the best. But then again, I grew up with them. I think it's the way that we do the batter, the way we fillet the fish, and I think it's beer or goose. I'm not sure what batter they cook it in, but it's just crispier. When I have fish and chips down south, not as keen. Do you know what I'm saying? There's something missing. The chips don't feel the same. But do you agree they're better in newspaper? They are, aren't they? Yes, with the vinegar dripping through the paper. It just, and if you're eating them outside, isn't that wonderful aroma as you're walking along? Which got me thinking about this, because I was talking to a colleague who lives in the middle part of the United Kingdom, and they were talking to me about one of their delicacies that really I'd never heard of and has never really travelled out of that particular county. And it got me wondering, well, why? You know, why does that not happen? You see, down here, you know, we don't get things like the Manchester tart. Yes, let me explain. This is like an egg custard with a bit of jam and then some cream on and then some coconut sprinkles. Absolutely delicious. A variant of the egg custard, you know what I'm saying? But you don't see it really any further than really the end of Yorkshire. For some reason, it's never travelled down. Then we have Eccles cakes, which of course go up and down the country, but obviously more popular in that wonderful land that is Eccles. Everybody developed their own little thing, didn't they? But the Bedfordshire clanger is something rather unique, and I wanted to share it with you. I'd never heard of it, and it is like a Cornish, in my opinion, don't shout at me Bedfordshire people, but in my opinion it's like a part sort of Cornish pasty, but sort of part dessert as well. You get two in one, and it's all sort of segregated in the middle. And I wondered why it had never taken off. You see, let me explain. As I said, this regional speciality has never really travelled outside its county, and it is a shame because it's one of the few British bakes that was made with suet pastry, giving it is sort of an origin of a boiled pudding. It's cooked in a cloth like jam roly-poly, and some people say such puddings can be rather stodgy, which may explain the pastry's sort of curious name, the clang, being the sound of a heavy pudding as it hits the stomach. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Basically, the main part of the pudding is separated by a blob of dough. Now, it contains, as I say, two fillings, one with a savoury mixture such as beef and potatoes, and the other is filled with something sweet such as apple. And it's a really good value, really fills you, and you can understand exactly why it took off. So it's a little bit of fun today. I wanted to ask, do you have anything in your area, your part of the world, that is kind of unique to you, that never really travels anywhere else, but it's the sort of thing, you know what I'm saying, that when you get back, and I don't know, you go past that shop and you go, oh, I'll have to have one of those. I really want that. You know, because I do. We have the same thing up in Yorkshire with sausage rolls. There's a bakery there that whatever recipe they've got, it's the best. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't resist. You want to walk past and think, no, it's too fattening. No, no, no. But you know, if you're there for a long period of time, you're definitely going to have it. What's your hidden sort of culinary delight that we now don't know of, but we should? And what's your reason, tell me this, as to why you think it never went anywhere out of your particular area? I'd love to know. Has this all made you hungry? I know, I wouldn't mind a Bedfordshire clanger now, would you? Neil Shaw, Kensington, London.